Baseload Energy is part of the Ore Finders group of companies, and it's on the hunt for the next world-class deposit in Canada's renowned Athabasca Basin in northern Saskatchewan. As for James Sykes, the CEO, he brings more than 15 years of Athabasca Basin uranium exploration experience and success to Baseload. Baseload Energy formed in June 2022, and James has been directly and indirectly involved with the discovery of over 550 million pounds of U3O8 in Athabasca, including leading the discovery team for NextGen's Arrow deposit. He's the second of executive we've had on today that with a connection to the Arrow deposit. He provided work on Hathor Exploration's Rough Rider deposits. He was also a member of the Denison Mines exploration team that prioritized the targets that eventually became the Phoenix and Griffin deposits. James and the Baseload team have demonstrated their understanding of Athabasca exploration by having achieved success in the company's first drill program with a new uranium discovery called Akio. James, welcome to the Global Mining Symposium. Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Pleasure to be here. It's going to be a hard one to follow up on Jim Curry. That was just some pretty exciting results, but uranium's the flavor of the month right now, so I'm hoping that we can do a fine job.
Everybody's very excited about uranium, and we look forward to the presentation, James, so I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, you can see my screen, I hope.
Yes, we can.
Here. All right. So Baseload Energy, we are a new company. We formed in June 2020 last year. We are part of the OR group of companies, as Anthony mentioned, which I will touch on later on. I will be making forward-looking statements as we are still in an exploration stage. So we've recently made the Akio discovery, which is a new basement-hosted near-surface uranium discovery within the Athabasca Basin. This follows along with our Athabasca 2.0 strategy in that we were targeting areas outside of the traditional Athabasca sandstone. We're looking for the basement hosted instead of unconformity style of mineralization. Now, Akio, we think, is going to be a very huge success for us, as it already has been, and we're looking to drill at least 10,000 meters in Q1 of 2022. Myself, as Anthony mentioned, I've been a part of at least 550 million pounds of discovery to my name within the Athabasca Basin. My colleagues as well, Cameron McKay and Charles Beaudry, have also played instrumental roles in other discoveries as well. We have a very tight capital structure, about $11 million in the bank, which will fund us through. We're currently doing a bought deal placement as well for $8 million, and this will secure us for plentiful for exploration this year as well. About 20% of the share structure is held by insiders. And we have amazing projects that we think will be delivering results constantly. So in the map, the center of the map here, the Akio discovery, Akio GMZ discovery is basically with two different companies, 92 Energy, who made the discovery to the north, and us, who followed up with drilling to the south. Now, this is brand new. Results were only listed by 92 Energy back in September. You can see the radioactivity results there on the top left-hand side. Those are measured in CPS, counts per second. That's an informal way of measuring radioactivity. They've also had the results expressed as U3O8. We do not have assay results back yet, unfortunately, so we can only report our results in counts per second radioactivity as well. On the right-hand side, you can see what I would consider to be our intercepts that were equivalent to or better than the 92E drill hole on the left. What also brings into your attention is to compare the 92E drill hole results, 5.5 meters at 0.12% U3O8, with a discovery with what I would consider to be a drill hole that led to the Griffin discovery, sorry. That was ZK06 drilled in 1980. They had 7.7 meters at 0.17% U3O8. So very comparable grades. And if we believe that our radioactivity results will be equivalent or better than those type of grades, excellent, great. But why is that important? Because I think that what we could be seeing here at Akio could be something similar to what Denison saw over at Griffin. And prior to making that discovery of Griffin, they had lower grade radioactive or lower grade uranium, and then they followed up down dip 150 meters, and boom, they had Griffin. It's over 60 million pounds. It's over 1.5% U3O8 resource. The only problem with that is that it's deep. It's got a lot of sandstone on top. If we have something similar here happening over at Akio, then we've got the potential making for a world-class deposit that could go into production. That's exactly what our Athabasca 2.0 is looking for, something that can be open pittable or mined with traditional underground mining. This is what the mineralization looks like. Very exciting. Looks typical to a lot of basement hosted mineralization that I've seen in the past, most notably Rough Rider. We've got three different intervals that are color coded, and they just show the areas that have the higher bits of radioactivity. This whole intercept, though, between the two red lines, 16.2 meters of 642 counts per second. Within the first blue interval, there is a beautiful piece of core that only measures about 10 centimeters, but you can still see visible uranium in there. This had a radioactivity reading over 10,000 counts per second. Now, in my I guess my career working in the basin over 15 years now, I can typically say that this type of rock, anything over 10,000 counts, is generally over greater than 1% U3O8. But again, we're waiting for assays to come back. So hopefully experience holds true, but it looks wonderful. Looks just like other deposits, other uranium deposits within the basin. This piece of core, about 3 meters beneath that one, has a personal place to me, as I can take this core and I can throw it into the Arrow deposit on our discovery drill hole at Arrow, which was further up the geological section than their current resource, or really high grade shell. So what this indicates to me is that we could still be on the upper parts of what could be a much larger system. It's the same type of quartz carbonate uranium brecciated and vein system. So very exciting. Already made a comparison to Rough Rider, Griffin, Arrow, all three well-known Athabasca basement hosted deposits that each have over 60 million pounds. They're over 1% average grades, U3O8 average grades. So that's what we hope that we are going to see here. Now, the Athabasca 2.0 model, how this all fits in is that we think that where Akio sits in this is that we have less than 100 meter sandstone cover. So the open pit style is still applicable, and we are in the basement rock so far. So this makes it amenable to traditional basement style or traditional mining methods. So we're in the right jurisdiction. Infrastructure's there. We're about 30 kilometers east and about 70 kilometers northeast from a mill. Highway and infrastructure, power are all there within 30 kilometers. We spent about $1.5 million to make this discovery. This was our very first drill program as a company. The area had not been drilled before until 92. We drilled it in September, which we'd spent $1.5 million total expenditures to make this discovery. Now, that's part of the process that we do in staking our projects to move forward to make these discoveries as quick as possible. And we've committed about 10% from that overall budget towards Indigenous and Northern-owned businesses and employees as well. So just quickly touching on our exploration potential, because we're very excited about our 4 projects, Hook Southwest, Catharsis, and Shadow. Catharsis, we look to explore this summer, and we increased the size of it. We increased the size of the project, and we came across a potential, high grade uranium at surface that was discovered back in the 70s. Now we plan to get out there this summer and do some more digging, following up on trend, and have some additional geophysics to really put this all into perspective. But this corridor itself looks very exciting. There are a lot of similarities that we see within the rocks, within the reports to even Hook, to our Akio discovery. So Catharsis is a very exciting project with a lot of wonderful targets already to be drilled. Shadow, our Shadow project, again, another exciting project. It's along the Virgin River Shear Zone, which is a massive shear zone in Saskatchewan that already hosts 4 different deposits. We believe that the Shadow project has the potential for additional mineralization, basement hosted mineralization. Just a matter of being able to explore and put some drills into the ground, and hopefully our thesis holds true. But we believe that this is the proper structural funnel point for fluids, to uraniferous bearing fluids, to move into these locations and deposit mineralization. So we have a big summer plan, or 2022 planned. Q1, we're going to focus all of our attention on Akio. We've got about 10,000 meters, minimum 10,000 meters planned for drilling. And we also plan to build an on-site camp to reduce a lot of our transportation costs. Q2, Q3, again, we will continue to drill Akio. Our big priority for Akio is to get to a resource, even an inferred NI 43-101 mineral resource. least working towards that by the end of the year. Uranium is hot right now. It would be a great time for the company to have some pounds in the ground so we can kind of jump to the next level in our share price and reward all of our shareholders who have been with us. We've got other projects that we do plan to drill. The remainder of the Hook project, we've got about 2,500 meters planned for there. Catharsis diamond drilling, 2,500 meters there. A lot of ground reconnaissance for Catharsis and Hook Southwest, especially on those high-grade areas on Catharsis. And some airborne geophysical surveys to really get us going. And then by Q4, again, we hope to have that NI 43-101 resource going ahead. We've got about 65 million shares outstanding, close to 40 million warrants and options. And that's about 20 million or just over 20 million in warrants themselves. Average strike price about 52 cents. Our market cap's about 75 million and we've got 11 million in the bank. You can see how our share has traded, especially after we announced our Akio discovery. We've gone up twofold already. When we listed back in June of last year, we listed at 10 cents. And we've had a couple peaks there at about $1.30. So 13 times return from our initial listing. It has been absolutely rewarding for everybody involved, all of our shareholders, and we couldn't have done any of this without them or everybody involved in the company. So it's been very exciting, and we think that this is still the start of the ride for us. Your group of companies, fantastic group of companies. Encourage you to look at all of these different companies and really get behind them. They've generated a lot of return for a lot of investors, a lot of good projects coming down the pipelines, QC Copper and Gold and the Robonesca deposit. Absolutely fantastic group of companies. This is who we are. And thank you very much.
Excellent, James. Thank you very much. And yes, the Orefinders Group has been on a strong run. We've had the pleasure of having Stuart join us as a guest a couple of times. You pointed to the great success of QC Copper and, of course, Baseload. You pointed to the market success there. So a proven team with a great track record. Let's just go to the financing a little bit here because you recently raised over $15 million. Where are those proceeds going? And can you explain it in the context? Because you're doing another raise that you've announced. So why the second one so quickly on the heels of the first?
It was an excellent deal to not to pass up. We had an $8 million bought deal placement, and we knew that we really had to move this project forward. We're very bullish on the idea of getting to a resource estimate. And after crunching out some numbers and seeing how things could develop and how many meters we need to get there, we felt that it was definitely time to it was necessary to raise more money. Every raise that we have done since our IPO has always been at a higher level, so we don't feel as though we are doing any providing any disappointment to our shareholders. Especially raising at over $1 has been absolutely exciting, as it's not very well. We're not diluting as much, obviously. So I would say we've got about 15 million committed to exploring on Akio and really pushing Akio and the Hook project pretty hard, and then about 2 million into Catharsis, and Shadow remains on a standby type of situation.
Okay, if you don't hit high grade at Akio, what happens to the asset?
We keep drilling, we keep exploring it, we keep trying to really see what is there. If there is no high grade there, that's really not a terrible situation. Using the comparisons with the Denison drill hole and the 92E drill hole, we're still seeing, or at least we believe we have the potential to see mineralization that is above world average grade, above that 0.1% U3O8. You're looking at operations down in Africa that are mining at 200 and 300 ppm. Well, we would be seeing magnitudes of higher concentrations than that. So we do think that the viability is there, regardless of high grade. It's technically speaking, it would still be a high grade deposit, but being so close to the surface, being so close to infrastructure and mill, we think that, yeah, exactly. We think that this has the potential to move forward.
Excellent. Important point to end on. James, thank you so much for joining us. Wish you continued success, and let's keep this uranium market going. We know that we need nuclear energy as a nice no carbon source of baseload energy, and you're playing your part in that. So sure. Have a great rest of the year and a great 2022. Great seeing you, James.
Thanks a lot, Anthony. Take care.
Cheers.